This weapon looks more like a metal pipe than a firearm. No polish, no elegance, no advanced engineering. Yet during World War II, this crude British gun became one of the most feared weapons in occupied Europe. German soldiers didn't fear it because it was powerful. They feared it because it could be anywhere, at any time. This was the Sten gun. At first glance, the Sten looks unfinished and almost primitive. It appears cheap, fragile, and unreliable. But appearances in wartime can be deceptive. This weapon was not designed to impress soldiers. It was designed to survive desperation. To understand the Sten, we must return to 1940, a year when Britain faced the very real possibility of defeat. Events on the beaches of France would change everything. The evacuation at Dunkirk saved hundreds of thousands of lives, but most heavy equipment and weapons were left behind. Britain survived, but it emerged nearly unarmed. Rifles, machine guns, and ammunition lay scattered across the beaches. The army returned home without the tools it needed to fight, and the threat of invasion loomed closer than ever. Britain's traditional weapons industry could not respond quickly enough. Standard firearms were expensive and slow to manufacture. Time was something Britain no longer had. Military planners faced a brutal reality. They did not need a perfect weapon. They needed something that could be built fast, cheap, and in massive numbers. Engineers were given clear instructions. Strip the weapon down to its essentials. Remove anything that slowed production. The result was the Sten gun, a weapon built around necessity rather than craftsmanship. Every part served a single purpose. The Sten used a simple metal tube for its receiver, few moving parts, no complex machining. This simplicity made mass production possible. Factories across Britain began producing the Sten at incredible speed. Workers with limited training could assemble it quickly. Quantity became Britain's greatest strength. By the end of the war, millions of Sten guns had been produced. Few weapons in history were manufactured so rapidly. The design achieved its goal. The Sten fired standard 9mm ammunition, the same ammunition used by German forces. This decision would have enormous consequences. Resistance fighters no longer depended entirely on Allied supply drops. Captured enemy ammunition could be reused. This made underground warfare far more sustainable. The Sten was lightweight and compact. It could be hidden under a coat or inside a bag, perfect for urban environments and secret movement. This weapon was not meant for open battlefields. It was built for streets, buildings, and narrow alleyways, places where surprise mattered more than precision. Across occupied Europe, resistance groups adopted the Sten. French, Polish, and other underground fighters relied on it. It became a symbol of resistance. Civilians could carry it without drawing attention. Weapons moved silently through cities. The line between civilian and fighter blurred. Ambushes replaced traditional battles. Quick attacks followed by rapid disappearances. Control over territory became impossible. German soldiers never knew who was armed. A passerby, a worker, a shopkeeper. Anyone could be a threat. This uncertainty created fear, and fear is one of the most powerful weapons in war. The Sten spread fear without firing a single shot. Patrols moved cautiously. Every street corner felt dangerous. The occupying forces began to lose confidence. Psychological warfare took hold. The Sten disrupted control, order, and authority. It weakened the enemy from within. But the Sten was far from perfect. It could jam, it could misfire, its magazine design was flawed. British soldiers often complained about its reliability. Many disliked using it. On the battlefield, it demanded patience. Resistance fighters, however, accepted its flaws. They needed availability, not perfection. The Sten gave them a fighting chance. When the Sten worked, it worked well enough, and often that was all that mattered.
survival came first. Compared to refined German weapons like the MP40, the Sten looked crude and disposable, but it could be replaced easily. Germany focused on quality, Britain focused on quantity. Two very different philosophies of war. The Sten proved that numbers could overwhelm engineering. It flooded Europe with resistance weapons and changed the nature of occupation warfare. Ordinary people became fighters, cities became battlefields, and control slipped away from occupying forces. The Sten was not heroic, it was not elegant, but it was effective. Its power came from unpredictability, from never knowing where it might appear next. That uncertainty haunted German forces. The Sten did not dominate through firepower, it dominated through fear and disruption, and that made it dangerous. Weapons do not need to be beautiful to change history. Sometimes simplicity is the most powerful design. The Sten proved that desperate solutions can have lasting impact. It reshaped resistance warfare across Europe. Its legacy is not found in museums alone. It is found in the stories of those who fought in secret. A simple gun, built in haste, left a permanent mark on the Second World War. History remembers the Sten not for its appearance, but for what it made possible. The Sten gun reminds us that war rewards effectiveness, not elegance. If you enjoyed deep documentaries on British and American weapons of World War II, subscribe to the channel and let us know in the comments, was the Sten the most effective resistance weapon of the war?